Some time ago, we did a special celebrity version of To Tell the Truth on our daytime program. And because of technical difficulties, part of it was not seen by our home viewers. Well, all of us enjoyed it so much that we thought you at home who missed it might like to see it tonight. So here is how we began that show. Paul, would you roll the videotape, please?
We are privileged to have as our celebrity guest today one of the world's foremost producer-directors of motion pictures. What is your name, please?
My name is Otto Preminger.
Now, after this introduction, Mr. Preminger went backstage and joined two impostors. Later, they came back out on stage and endeavored to fool this very panel. Now, here's how the game went. Would you roll the videotape again, please, Paul? Now we're going to play our celebrity version of To Tell the Truth. Seated to my left behind these masks is our next team of challengers. We have, of course, hidden their faces because our panel, our smart panel, would instantly recognize the real celebrity's face, and we are going to distort their voices for the same reason. Therefore, you'll hear voice distortion through those earphones, panel. Our celebrity guest today is somewhat out of the line of our usual guests. He is not a performer. He makes great performances. One of the most creative directors of all time. His list of motion pictures includes Anatomy of a Murder, St. Joan, The Man with the Golden Arm, Exodus, and his newest film, which just had its premiere in New York, Bunny Lake is Missing. And we'll start the questioning with Orson Bean. Orson?
Thank you. Mr. Preminger, number one, what does Ishpeming, Michigan mean to you?
This was the site of the production of Anatomy of a Murder.
And in Anatomy of a Murder, who played the army psychiatrist?
It was played by yourself, Mr. Orson Bean.
Thank you.
What happened to the great actor?
Number three, which picture of yours revolutionized the code of ethics in Hollywood?
Well, you probably refer to The Moon is Blue.
All right. Number two...
Kitty Carlisle.
Number three, my husband and I had the distinction of being the longest house guests in history. And this took place in your house. How long did we stay with you?
Well, you mean in Bel Air?
Yes.
Who was counting?
Who's counting?
Ah, that's
Number two, you are often called Dr. Preminger. What is this title for?
I studied law in Vienna.
Thank you. Number one, were you ever an actor in Vienna?
Yes.
What theater did you play with?
I was in the Max Reinhardt theater.
Thank you.
Tom Poston.
Thank you, Bud. Number three, what happened to that cummerbund of mine I gave your wife?
It was cleaned and pressed.
He's so gentil. Should be, even if it isn't, it should be number three. Number two, may I ask you, who's married to Stanley Prager? Just
An actress who played opposite Henry Fonda in my last production on the stage on Broadway in Critics' Choice. At the moment, I cannot
Doesn't
remember
matter.
her name.
She's a great fan of yours. She thinks you're the...
And Peggy Katz.
Thank you. Number two, who played the villain in Stalag 17?
I played the villain in Stalag 17.
Ooh, gee, you scared me. Number three, where do you live in New York?
On East 64th Street.
Number one, would you please tell me how many children you have?
I have two children,
And what are they?
one of each.
All right, it's time to vote. Take off your earphones, if you will, please, panel, and mark your ballots at once, without any consultation, and, of course, without any changes once you have marked. Vote now for Otto Preminger number 1, Otto Preminger number 2, or Otto Preminger number 3. All ballots are marking, but not all marked as yet. All right, they are now. Okay, Tom, for whom did you vote?
I voted for number 2. I thought number 1 was great, but that's one of those Bill Barr accents. And I thought number 3 must be related in some way to Emily Post. What a gentleman. But I thought it was number 2. Georgianne Johnson was that wonderful actress who's such a champion of Mr. Preminger's, whoever he is.
Peggy Cass.
Well, number 1 has got the niftiest clothes and a nifty watch, and he sits up so straight and everything. I almost voted for him, but number 3's got class. I voted for him.
Orson Bean, which one do you think is the real one?
I'm really torn between 1 and 3. They both have genuine wit, which the real Preminger has. It could be either one, but I voted for number 1.
And Kitty Carlisle.
Well, I voted for number 3. I don't honestly think it's number 3 because I think the real Otto would have said that we stayed too darn long.
How long did you stay?
We stayed over 3 months.
But you pitched in and helped clean up the kitchen and everything.
No.
Very well. In checking the voting here, we find that Orson voted for number 1, Tom voted for number 2, and that means the two ladies, Peggy and Kitty, voted for number 3. So, number 3, you got the most votes. Are you Otto Preminger?
No.
My name's Henry Morgan.
Oh, dear. Number 2, are you Otto Preminger? Number 1, I guess you might as well unmask too. What is your name?
My name is Mark Goodson.
Only our boss, ladies and gentlemen, the owner of the show, Mark Goodson and Bill Codman, are the most successful firm in history, and they have owned and operated our little shebang here for quite a while.
What about that accent?
How would you describe that, Tom? What? A Bill?
Bill Barr.
Bill Barr. But do we have time for me to say one thing? Because this has been a very interesting experience to me. I've never done this before, to sit and watch how you learn how to be someone else. And we sat for a couple of hours and tried to learn how to be Otto Preminger. It's, of course, immensely difficult because he's done so many things. And as a matter of fact, I sat home last night with his credits and began reading all of the things that he had done, all of the parts that he had played, the shows that he had directed and produced. And I came out with, if I had respect before for you, I had it certainly doubly and triply afterwards.
Thank you very much. But I think Henry Morgan did better than I.
Yes.
I already knew it, Henry, but you're the sweetest man.
You sure are.
And my question still stands.
Peggy, I don't know if anybody heard that. You said you wanted to marry number 3?
That's right.
We'll talk.
Mr. Preminger, continued success to you. Goodbye, and God bless you. Oh, my, that was good fun, wasn't it? That's all we have time for. You make it go fast, panel. Good night to you.
Good night.
Good night to all of you. Of course, we'll see you next week at the same time, and I'll see you tomorrow afternoon on the daytime show. But in the meantime, don't you forget to tell the truth. Night. To Tell the Truth is a Mark Goodson, Bill Codman production. To Tell the Truth has been brought to you by new self-polishing Aero Wax with jet-age plastic for the tough, long-lasting shine that never yellows floors. New Aero Wax. This is Johnny Olson speaking for To Tell the Truth, the preceding program was pre-recorded.